Welcome back to American Catechism for episode number 64 with a whiskey holiday special, except it's not a whiskey. Coming to you from Fort Worth, Texas on Saturday, June 13th, 2026, where it is currently about 90 degrees. American Catechism is all about studying American history, Western civ, politics, theology, current events, and whiskey, sometimes book or movie reviews. And today we're joining the world in celebrating World Gin Day. And I'll be featuring the Botanist, Islay Dry Gin. What is World Gin Day? This holiday was created in 2009 by Neil Houston of Birmingham, England, just to celebrate his favorite drink with a few of his friends in the backyard. It caught on in Birmingham and spread to various pubs around town, and then began spreading even further, so that by 2013, Emma Stokes of London, a scientist by profession, and also a gin enthusiast and a YouTuber, took over the organization, and her YouTube channel, Gin Monkey, has promoted the annual World Gin Day on the second Saturday of June ever since 2013. The goal is to celebrate this alcohol spirit in a responsible way with friends and family by drinking it neat, or in a gin and tonic, or a cocktail. So first of all, what is gin? Gin is a distilled neutral spirit that has a base flavoring of added juniper berries, from which it derives its name. I think it's got Dutch origins, and so Genevieve or something like that, Genevieve, and so it's for the juniper, and then shortened in English to gin. Development began in Europe about the 13th century, we think, and was used medicinally at first. One thing that makes gin unique is each location that makes gin can use their own local botanicals to flavor their gin. Now, what are botanicals? Flowers, roots, fruits, herbs, spices can all be used to flavor a gin, but the base spirit is dominated by juniper berries. And juniper's an evergreen, and so you're going to get evergreen notes in here, pine notes, a little bit of a kind of a citrusy flavor from that juniper. It's very refreshing flavor. Local terroir is important in the making of gin, and so the local artisans all over the world who make gin add their own little flair according to what they have growing in their region. Now, this particular gin, the Botanist Islay Dry Gin, comes from Scotland and the island of Islay, famous for their single malt scotches that are very smoky in flavor. This is distilled by Bruichladdich. They use 9 classic botanicals that are common in the making of gin, along with 22 botanicals personally foraged on Islay by their professional forager. Think about that. This distillery has a professional forager. Well, what do you do for a living? I forage for a living. Okay. I like that. Very, very original. Now, my experience with gin is basically with cocktails. And so the fundamental cocktail, or mixed drink, I should probably say, because it's only 3 ingredients, is the gin and tonic. And so a few years ago, maybe 3 years ago, I started making a gin and tonic. So we have tonic water. This is Fever Tree, but I've used a couple of Canada Dry, probably, maybe Schweppes. I've used a variety of tonic waters, but Fever Tree is the high dollar one, right? The fancy one. And then gin and ice. 3 ingredients. That's it. Well, actually 4. Somewhere in there is a slice of lemon, right? Now you can use lemon or lime. And this cocktail is very refreshing. Here in Texas, we have long, hot summers. And so in the afternoon, when it's, very, very hot, a refreshing drink is welcome. And we've found that the gin and tonic matches the requirement exactly. Now, this is a very mild cocktail because basically I put 1 shot of gin in there and then a lot of ice and as much as this as will fit, and then I keep adding more to it. So it really dilutes the alcohol in the gin, and so my wife appreciates that. She finds this very refreshing as well, and so it's much milder than a whiskey drink, and it's so the tonic water keeps the alcohol level low, and the tonic water's got kind of a tart or bitter flavor to it because of the quinine that's in there, and that somehow matches perfectly with the botanicals and the bitterness that's in a gin. And this comes out very refreshing. And if you add, I've got lemon in there, but I've put lime as well. You could do orange, something citrusy, and this just spritzes up and is very refreshing. So the gin and tonic is a favorite at Stab the Dragon's house. All right, the next cocktail that I have learned to make with gin is the Negroni. All right, here I've been working on this for a little bit, so it's down some and the ice has melted quite a bit. But the Negroni uses the gin, 1 part gin, 1 part Campari, which is an Italian liqueur. And the Campari is bitter with a little bit of sweet. And then also 1 part sweet vermouth, the Martini Rossi here. And both the Martini Rossi and the Campari are red. So you get that red tinge here. And the sweet vermouth is on the sweet side. So when you combine all these together, you get a very nice mixture of sweet tart, right? Sweet with bitter. I've also got an orange peel in there, and you can do lemon. Lime might even work. But this comes across very sweet compared with the gin and tonic. Now, a little bit further back in my history with gin, you come up with the book 1984. Don't have my copy out here anywhere. It's around here somewhere. But in 1984, the protagonist, Winston Smith, frequently drinks Victory Gin. And I've actually done a search for Victory Gin, and I think there's actually somebody making something called Victory Gin now in England, and I don't have access to it here in the States. But if I could get a hold of Victory Gin, I would, because I'm a big fan of George Orwell and that book 1984. So there's all kinds of symbolism that goes with that, but Victory Gin would be something I would definitely be interested in. Maybe you've got it. Maybe you know where to get it. I don't know. I checked online and it's like, okay, one place I could order it for a couple $100 or something like that. It's like, no, I'm not going to do that. But anyway, so for World Gin Day, enjoy a glass of gin, how you like it. Some people actually do drink it neat. I don't. It's a bit too much for me neat. I can handle high proof whiskeys, but straight gin just doesn't work for me. But in a gin and tonic or something like a Negroni, it's wonderful. So this is Stab the Dragon for American Catechism and World Gin Day out here